want from me. Tell me what you want from me. Tell me what you want from me. Man, what do you want from me?
I've been shooting from a cannon. Mid-flight, hit or recite, I ain't landing. Handles like a vandal at night, you can't grab it. Fire underneath my hood is outstanding. Blast through a wall of bricks like Superman did. Ain't nothing holding me back but me standing. So I'ma take off right now from this planet. The new sound has been found in yo. I don't know what you've been told, but I ain't gonna stop till I break the mold. You see, I'm born in the music. I wanna rise in the ceiling, yes I do. I think it's time to see a brand new menu. I said I'm born in a million. I'm born in a million.
It's the NFL on EA Sports as you take a look there at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, PA. Of the NFL season are complete. What lurks in our final month? We're underway in Week 14. And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. They go play action here on first down. And his first pass is incomplete. Jahan Dotson was the intended receiver, but it's going to be second down. You look at this Bears defense. They're going to be tough to throw on, no doubt. Currently ranked third in the NFL against the pass.
And I'm struggling a little bit trying to really categorize this crew. They're top 10 in the league against the pass, but the bottom half of the league in sacking the quarterback. That doesn't make sense. Imagine if this group ever put pressure on the QB, they'd easily move into the top 5.
And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. 10 yards there and an Eagle first down. The Eagles at 5-7 now on the year. And they coming on a pretty good roll here. Winners of 3 straight.
And I thought that they played pretty well last week. Their execution, their discipline, their resilience, all on display in that victory.
A run on first down with Shipley. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Tremaine Edmonds there to bring him down. Here's 2nd and 10. Now the Bears electing to call a timeout defensively. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. 2nd and 10. Once again, it's Shipley. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. 17 yards there and an Eagle first down.
How best to describe that one? I'd say right down Broadway on that run.
A straight ahead running. I think that might be something we see a lot of between the tackles today.
Well, he's enjoying things so far here this afternoon. Sees a crease and bursts through it for a solid game.
He's going deep for Brown. And he'll be touched down in the end, but a big play on that one.
That's how you put field position. What a play right there. That nearly went the distance. Credit this defense for not giving up. They get him down just short of the goal line, but the damage is done. It's going to be first and goal from an ideal position.
A terrific opening drive has them knocking on the door, first and goal. Shipley is into the end zone. Touchdown, Philadelphia.
Sometimes offenses can get too cute down near the goal line, but there's nothing fancy about this one. As Coach Lombardi would say, we get a seal here, and we get a seal here, and we run this play in the alley. And that's good work to hit the hole hard and finish in the end zone.
Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. And no thought of bringing this one out. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll begin the drive at the 30. Fields and the Bears now with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. Well, this defense for the Eagles, they were very good last week in the win over New Orleans.
And as in any game, takeaways are always a big key. They're always discussed on defense. There's an emphasis there. And they came away with 3 interceptions in that game.
And they'll keep leaning on the running game. Back to the ground. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. 2 yards the loss, and now 3rd and 12.
We knew both of these safeties were good in run support, but how about the play we just saw there? How about that closing speed? Able to get to the outside part of the field and turn that play into a loss.
And the Eagles with a dime look. 6 DBs on 3rd down. They'll bring a receiver in motion left. Throwing on 3rd down, Fields. That is caught. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. Give them 32 on the play.
It's early, but announcer cliche alert here. Big players make big plays. Should I say in big games too? Ah, what the heck. And this defense, they're going to have to find some way to slow him down as this game goes on, because when this combination is going good, they can tear your secondary apart.
And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on 1st down. Last week, of course, the great performance, over 200 yards. He still wants to be fed.
And they should. That's exactly what you should do. I have not yet met a running back that's run for over 200 yards that says the very next week, hey, let's back things up.
Yeah, I don't need it as much.
No, they want it more and more. They're going to be ready to go because they think that's going to happen naturally now.
And now the Eagles going to signal for a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this 1st quarter. From the 35, here's 2nd and a yard. And they'll give him another shot here on the ground. And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line. 4 yards the pickup, 1st down.
2nd and 1, and people want to run the football. This is where every back in the league is supposed to do exactly what we just saw there. Pick up the 1st down.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Back to throw, Fields. And he will find the open man. It's DJ Moore. A great job there, Charles, just to hold on, absorb that contact. I guess that's the risk you take catching the ball toward the middle of the field. It is, and if you're going to gain yardage, you're going to have to go there at some point. But how about the read, okay? The eyes of that play, stepping out from the middle of the field and really making a big hit. Did not get free, but boy, that's a tough area to go into when you're going into his spot. Taking matters into his own hands, and he picks up 4 yards and a first down.
As he came to the line of scrimmage, he knew he didn't need much to reset the chain, so when he saw the space he needed, no hesitation. He went to the marker and got his guys a first down.
On first down, they'll go to the ground attack. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12. Play action. It's Fields. Sliding out of the pocket. And he will slide to a stop. He does have the first down. 12 yards there as they move the chains.
This early in the game, it's all about making steady progress downfield, hoping to lead to early points. And you can do it with your actual play calls or sometimes something a little more improvised, as we just saw there.
On first down, they'll go to the ground attack. And he stopped immediately there. Calling no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
When you're trying to create space for your running back, the first thought is how physical is the offensive line. Sometimes it's just positioning. On that play, it didn't matter about positioning or being physical. The defensive front, they out-leveraged them and won the battle.
That to the right sideline, and it falls incomplete.
It's been a good opening drive offensively thus far, but you know they don't want to waste it and settle for a field goal attempt after that incompletion. So this is a big play coming up here on 3rd down.
Moore, the man in motion. Fields. Escaping the pressure right. And he'll be brought down well short of the first at about the 9-yard line. Riley Patterson now on for the field goal. From the right hash, and this one just a chippy. Oh, they flip it to the kicker. He looks like he's going to throw it. And this one will not work out. It is incomplete. They pass up the 3, fake it. It doesn't work. And this long drive is going to wind up yielding nothing. Oh, that was an intriguing call. You got a chip shot field goal. Tight game. Why not just take the 3?
I know that not all the old rules apply in today's NFL, and in fact, I'd love to have an analytics coach here with us right now to say why that was probably a good play.
And he fumbled it. It's on the ground. And they bring this one back. A fumble return for a Bears touchdown. So the defense forces the fumble. They get the score. And a guy on defense becoming offensive there, Charles.
And you know they love that. Any guy on defense loves to pick up the ball and have it in his hands and try and score himself. In this case, that's exactly what happened.
We'll be singing in the shower postgame. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. Already at the line, this Philly offense set to go. And they'll be looking to start fresh. Just a moment ago, they were backed up, coughed up the football, and then saw it go the other way for 6 points.
I just wonder, partner, sometimes they put such an emphasis on things. And, you know, in that situation, as they ran out there, they were told, take care of the football, don't cough it up. And sometimes that's the last thing you hear, and that's exactly what you do.
From the 24 now, here's a 2nd and 8. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. He's going deep for Brown. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down. You look at this Bears defense. In that win last week over the Giants, they were very good.
And the big difference in the game, their ability to force turnovers. Multiple, in fact. Being able to take the ball away, give it back to their offense, the big difference in the game.
It was impressive. Now the question, can they duplicate it? On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. And this is caught, but I don't think he stayed in bounds. No, he didn't. It's incomplete. The throw took him past the boundary, and it's fourth. On fourth down, punt coming from Braden Mann. And the win last week punted 4 times as this one's away. And he goes out right around the 39. These two teams all tied after one. The Bears with the football. We get set to begin quarter number 2 as they get set to start their drive with a 1st and 10. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. They'll start on the ground here on 1st down. Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. No gain on the play there. 2nd down.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
Now a 2nd and 10. A play fake, now Fields to throw. To the right side, and he's got more, complete. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field, and now what he's trying to...
Nowhere for Fields to turn, and down he goes. It'll be a loss of 8 on the sack, and it's going to lead him to 4th down. Here comes the Bears punter now, as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. And now a high kick here as he'll try to hang it up there. And this one will be down by a member of the kicking team at about the 40-yard line. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
2nd and 5. That'll be caught by Shipley. And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds. 7 yards there and a 1st down. To the right side goes Shipley. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. That one good for 10 yards. And that'll bring up a 2nd and just about a few inches here. Seemed like a couple sets of eyes were on the quarterback, so he decided, hey, I'm going to hand this off. Got a good gain out of it.
And you know you need good blocking up front in order to gain yardage, but every one of these RPOs, if you do it right and they look the same, whether it's handed off inside or the quarterback keeps it, that allows you to fool the defense so often. And in this case, fooled them with the inside run.
2 yards, good enough for a 1st. On play action, they'll throw. All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. And the Bears are going to have it here just past the 25. Well, we saw plenty of that during his much-heralded college career. He parlayed that into becoming a first-round selection, and now here he is making interceptions in the National Football League.
And this is a guy that has all the physical tools, but the thing that sets him apart is what he's got between his ears. And that's the sixth sense for knowing where the football is going. Just an excellent play there to create the turnover.
They'll fake the handoff. Now Fields. Oh, that's into a double team, and it's intercepted. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson with a pick. Well, their defense got him the football with an interception. They trot out there, Charles, in the very first play. They give the football right back.
Brandon, I almost expect you coming like an auctioneer. We've got two. Do I hear three? Remember, it was 2 in a row. Would we hit 3 in a row? Because these offenses, they've got to be a little bit more careful as they go forward. These defenders, they're locked in and really focused.
That was well defended. They clamped down on every available receiver. Just got to give the win to the defense on that snap.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. That one downfield for Dotson. And that's going to be incomplete.
They geared up and took the deep shot downfield, but it turned out it wasn't one-on-one coverage. Extra defenders in the area, and that one winds up incomplete.
They're going to look to throw. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And he goes out of bounds. It looks like right at the 50. Here's Braden Mann now. He'll boot it away from about his 35. And he gets it away. A directional kick going toward the sideline. That one sails out of bounds. The side judge will walk it off. And he says it went out of bounds at the 9-yard line. Nice punt. So well done there. And these punters, they get more specialized and better each and every year, don't they?
They sure do. And now it's really not the American punters. It's the Australian punters with their kicking academies and that flat drop and just kind of kicking the nose of the football. They're able to almost stop it where they want to, like a good golfer can check one up.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. He gets it left side to Johnson. So they'll get nothing out of that play, and it'll be 2nd down.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. They're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
Johnson on, it's poke free. Football's out. And it's picked up by the Eagles. And did he get in? No. They'll mark him down at the 1-yard line. Always costly to cough up that football. These defenders, they become so adept, though, at jarring it free.
Yeah, it's amazing that there aren't more fumbles caused because now, if you're an offensive player, you go through ball security drills every single day. It's really not out of line to think you should take the ball to bed with you and just hold on to it. But the bottom line is, no matter how much you try to protect it, these guys are pretty good at finding ways to knock it.
Hammering for the goal line. He loses the football. Could have been a costly mistake, but as it turns out, they keep possession.
You can't give away these types of opportunities in the red zone. And I'm sure that was flashing through his brain as the ball escaped his hands. Fortunately for him, able to get picked up by his team, fumble recovered. They still have an opportunity deep in the red zone.
They'll try to run this one in. And he's in for an Eagles touchdown. A great play there. His 2nd rushing touchdown on the year. And the Eagles have taken the lead. Elliott good with a PAT. And that makes the score 14-7. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this? Oh, and his early struggles continue. Here's another one intercepted. It's Sidney Brown with it.
When a team's turned it over 3 times in the first half, we just look at the offense and say, guys, what are you doing? But instead, we really should be looking at the defense. They've created the takeaways. 2 interceptions, 1 caused fumble. They played awfully well swarming to the ball here in the first half.
They'll come out throwing here on first down. Catch is made by Marquise Brown. And he's going to be stopped right there at the 21. The end result, 21 yards. He'll look to throw. This will be caught once again by Brown. Now a 2nd and 6. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. And he's going to hook up with his big tight end, complete. And able to get this down inside the 15 to either the 13 or 14 before he's out of bounds. They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. Hands it off out of the gun. And he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. Calling no gain there, and it leads to a 4th down. The kick by Elliott is good. And they will move up by 10 now, 17-7. Well, they already had the early lead, and they get the interception, Charles, and now they add 3 more with the field goal.
Yeah, they're in control of how this game is playing out so far. You mentioned the early lead. Now they're expanding on it, getting plays on both sides of the ball. A winning recipe if they can keep this up.
At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive, because remember last time out, they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well, and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back, but make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands.
So now following the sack, Fields and the Bears looking at 3rd down and long. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Oh, Fields is intercepted for a 3rd time. It's Sidney Brown with it. And he's giving his guys a shot for late points as they will take over in range for a field goal or maybe more. An unfortunate sequence there, trying to get points before intermission, but now the interception, and their opponents have a chance to possibly pad their lead.
Yeah, they had an opportunity there, and they weren't able to capitalize on it, and that's something that could come back and haunt them later. They're begging their defense now to keep them from scoring before the half ends.
It's complete to Brown, right side. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18. He'll drop to throw. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he takes it inside the 10 to the 8 before he's out of bounds. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And they'll be left with a 2nd and about a foot. Straight ahead, Shipley. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. And we're going to get a timeout with 2 seconds remaining in the 2nd quarter. So with 2 ticks left here in the half, on is the field goal unit. From the right hash here, should be an easy one. The kick by Elliott is good, and that will do it for this first half. That's it for the first half. 2 more quarters to go. We'll have plenty more to see after the break.
All right, Coach, thank you very much. As we welcome you back for quarter number 3.
The Bears going to see the football first, and they trail here as we get back underway to start this second half.
And he's able to get this across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down officially at the 21.
The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive.
And right out of the gate, they face what you'd think could be a pretty important drive.
I would say so. You know, they're down 2 scores. That's not the end of the world. It wasn't the strongest of first halves, but for them to start clawing back, they've got to start putting a little pressure on that defense, start cutting into this deficit. You can't have 3 and outs and expect to get that done.
And they'll keep leaning on the running game back to the ground. And only able to get 2 here. Stopped at the 30.
Well, they still have time to get him established, but in my estimation, they've got to pick up the urgency here. They've got to get quickly in and out of the huddle and run off a bunch more plays.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down.
Now Fields. Pass taken in by his big tight end.
And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45. A little surprise pays off on 3rd and 1. Pass instead of run. Gets him 15 yards.
On 1st and 10, here's Fields. To the left side, into the hands of Adunze.
The result, only 4 yards there on the play. And it's 2nd down. They'll bring a receiver in motion right.
Fields tapping it forward, jet sweep. On a determined run there as he's going to take this all the way down near the 40.
A Chicago first down there on a gain of 11.
Just a simple tap pass, but it pays off in a big way.
And sometimes the simple stuff causes the most problems for a defense because there's a breakdown in communication there. When that receiver goes behind the line of scrimmage and it looks like he's going in motion, someone either has to go with him or he has to be passed off to another defender. Somehow they didn't get that communicated well, and it turned into a nice play.
Here now is 2nd and 10, again from the 41.
Here's Fields.
It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And this winds up a pickup of 2, maybe 2.5 to about the 39.
Completion was given up, but that's why you play zone defense, so that you can have people around the ball when it's caught, and you don't give up much run after the catch.
Fields now to throw. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he will have the Bears first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
As an unbiased observer, I think it would have been interesting to see what they would have done if they hadn't gotten the first down there. But since they did, I guess the point is moot.
Yeah, they're right there in that middle ground, field goal range, punt, go for it. But as you said, they picked it up. So nothing doing there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or 2 miss, but that window closed quickly. Over the middle and into the hands of his receiver, Moore. 2 catches in the first half. Now he's got a 3rd here, and it's good for a 1st.
How about a nod to the sequence of plays they're putting together here? This has been death by 1,000 paper cuts on this drive. But this is one of their best plays yet, and they're able to move it down into the red zone.
So here's a 1st and 10 now, down inside the 20. Throwing again is Fields.
And he's not able to get away. Sacked back at the 22. So maybe just a momentary setback on what's been a great drive so far, but 2nd and 13 here.
Now it's Fields.
And a quick throw here that's complete. It'll go down as a gain of 6. 3rd and 7 now.
He decided to run a hitch route. It really helps to have a guy who can turn it loose. And boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
Now 3rd down and 7. To throw is Fields.
They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And they're going to get him down shy of the first at about the 13-yard line. He did his best to just get 4 out of that, but not enough. And now 4th down.
Good reactions there defensively. That screen was a little slow in developing, and they shut that one down with little gain.
Riley Patterson now on for the field goal.
From the left hash, a chip shot here.
Patterson's kick is good.
And that cuts into the deficit. It's now 20-10.
So they were facing the deficit coming out of the locker room at intermission, and at least they're able to get the field goal to cut into that deficit.
Yeah, now your offense feels pretty good about itself, right? A little bit more up to speed coming out of the break. You turn to your defense now and say, hey, we got 3 there. We're chipping into the lead. Can you help us out? Hold them. Let's get the ball back for us.
Already at the line, this Philly offense set to go. Now a play fake here on 1st down. He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and that's going to bring up 2nd down.
Just about every quarterback is trained to really look downfield first before you come back and make a nice, safe throw. And in this case, that's exactly what he did. Found his running back, let him create some space, and it turned out to be a nice play for the offense.
Now a throw for the left sideline, and he's got it. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. 2nd catch for him today, and it'll wind up a 1st down. The play action fake. They'll look to throw.
He's going deep for Brown.
Into a double team, and it's intercepted.
Here's Smith now to return. And the Bears are going to have it here at their own 32-yard line. So a potential momentum shifter there, working with a 2-score lead, 3rd quarter, but that, not the smartest of throws.
I would agree with you on that one because this game is still very much in the balance. It felt pretty one-sided to this point, but now, if these guys can turn this turnover into points, things could start getting a little more interesting.
At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. Their drive last time, it stalled out. They were forced to take the short field goal.
And the key phrase, you nailed it. Forced to, because you know coaches look at these short field goals as a last resort, right? To them, that's not how drives are supposed to end. You're supposed to put 6 on the board. That's a consolation prize, like going to the county fair. You don't get the big stuffed animal on that one, do you?
No, you don't go top shelf. That's bottom shelf material.
44 yards rushing for him now as he's run it 11 times.
So from Philadelphia territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 43. They'll give it up the middle to Miller. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up.
And that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and winning in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
Now a 1st carry here for their running back. Flashed the stick skills, but didn't get a ton from it. Stopped short of the 35. 3 yards is half of what they needed. Now can they get the other 3 here on 3rd down?
Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the 1st.
And they'll give him another shot here on the ground. And he picks up the 1st before he's taken down at the 29. An effective 7-yard 3rd down conversion. All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. Now a toss here, short side. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the red zone here at the 22-yard line. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4. 3 quarters in the books. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. And welcome back. We are in the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia. It's Bears football, but they trail on the scoreboard as we get set to bring you the 4th quarter.
Give it big credit for his coverage right there, because when he saw the route break deep, he stayed in position to prevent a completion while avoiding any risk of a flag.
Here's Fields. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he's out of bounds. Almost gets to the 10. Give him 10 yards there as this offense is on a roll. This drive continues to plunge forward. And in a two-score game, obviously, every play, every third down, like we saw there, magnified. Big pickup.
It was a huge pickup. What they really want, though, is to not even get to third down. They've got to maximize time and conserve as much as possible.
Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
They did a really nice job there defensively. They strung the play out, didn't give him a cutback lane. On each play, you have guys what I call our BCR players. Guys are responsible for the bootleg, for the cutback, and for the reverse. They played that one perfectly.
And rode him right out of bounds. 4 yards on the pickup there as it'll leave him with a third and about 4 more for first. The Eagles going to take the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. This offense has converted 2 third downs on this drive already. This is 3rd and 4. Inside handoff now, Miller. And he goes backwards on this one, losing yardage to the 7. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1.
The short field shrinks even more with the type of bodies they brought in on that play. Those extra tight ends, they weren't able to secure their blocks, and that one ended up going backwards.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. They snap it to Fields. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Channing Tindall. And the Eagles are going to get the ball back on the turnover as they hold on 4th down. Well, field goals probably aren't going to cut it at this point. This was touchdown or bust, and unfortunately for them, it turned out to be bust.
Yeah, they're feeling like they've got to force the issue here. Maybe take some chances they wouldn't have earlier in the game.
And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And he is out of bounds right around the 34. That flag accepted, and it backs the offense up a little bit. Following the penalty, they'll go back to the run game. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up. I'm sure that that's going to be the formula. Just keep the ball on the ground. Keep that clock moving.
And when you have the lead this late in the game, above all, stay in bounds. Yes, take care of the football. Yes, gain yardage, but stay in bounds and let that clock tick.
Here's a handoff out of the gun. It's a gain of 6, moves him to a manageable 3rd and 2 situation.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
And he picks up the first before he's taken down at the 29. A 3rd down gain of 3 yards, and that'll be enough. Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. Got this complete to Jahan Dotson. Loose inside the 30. Jahan Dotson. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Jahan Dotson, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Eagles are about to make it 4 straight as they add to this 4th quarter advantage. Elliott good on the extra point, and that'll make this a 3-score game now. The lead moves to 17. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. Remember, they have won 3 straight, but getting to 4 straight does not appear to be in the cards as they are in a big fourth-quarter hole. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30.
He was hoping to get to the edge, but they did a really nice job of forcing him back inside. That's excellent fundamental defensive football. Don't let them outside where they can really shred your defense.
And they'll keep leaning on the running game. Back to the ground. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. They'll say no gain on the play there, and now it'll be 3rd down.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
And they'll go with a ground attack here. And they'll bring him down 1 yard shy after a pickup of 4. And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out. And he will have the 1st down, but he winds up paying for it pretty good.
At first glance, I actually wasn't sure that he got it, but he ended up getting it by about a full yard.
He certainly did, but it took a little effort, didn't it? Took some nice push, a little crease inside, and some determined running to make sure that he got the 1st down.
And he is out of bounds inside the 35. 60 yards on the ground for him now on 9 carries. Defense really kept him in check running the football in the first half. Maybe that'll be a spark for him here in half 2.
So 2 words come to mind for me. Resilient, because he has to keep bouncing back after some limiting runs, and have that relentless. Keep going, knowing that you may pop one, as he just did there.
This game not quite as good as the last, but still over 40 yards between the 2. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. On 1st down, they'll go to the ground attack. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on 1st down.
I think this offense, specifically this running game, they're going to have to find a way to turn the page because they haven't found a way to run it effectively thus far, and it's cost them.
So it's the big left tackle who gets tagged with a hold.
And sometimes you're actually executing the block well, and he starts to slip off of you, and instinctively you reach out and grab him. And when it's done like that, it's often seen by the official and called.
And not much running room. Down to the 32. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
A pass complete to Adunze.
And they move this all the way down to the 9. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Well, those are the types of plays they probably wish they had made more of in the first 3 quarters. And this deficit going to be tough to overcome here in the 4th. But a nice 1st down and a pickup on that throw.
Yeah, and this is where as coaches, you're looking for effort and execution, even though the scoreboard is going against you. You want to find out who's going to fight, who's going to scrap, who's going to keep their heads up and continue to play.
One last throw here for Fields.
And a little bit of a consolation prize there. He's into the end zone. Won't win him the game, but they do get the score with all zeros showing.
But some fantasy players are really happy with that score.
Doesn't affect the outcome, but, hey, nice job there to put it in the end zone for the final play.
Could it affect other things? Sometimes these types of scores are ones that we don't consider big at the time. Then later on we find out maybe that.
And that is going to officially draw the curtain on this one as the last throw intercepted. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson with a pick.
As far as who won and who lost, but that's how this one ends.
Felt like cosmetics, didn't it? Just put another 2 points on.